Hi everyone, this is Jenny at DeFi Mum, and today we are going to look at Aave, which is an app where you can save and you can borrow your tokens. And as always, I've got my husband to help me here, thankfully. So he will talk us through. I think today we are going to do some borrowing.
No,
is that right?
Well, no, I don't think we'll do that. Maybe in a different video. So in a previous video, or we spent a few videos looking at Compound, and Compound is kind of one of the key DeFi dApps on Ethereum, and Aave is kind of similar to some degree. It has a lot more advanced features for advanced users, which is not really us, but broadly you do the same sort of things. And that basically means you can take some of your Ethereum-based tokens and lock them into Aave and gain an interest rate on that. So that's the simplest thing to do. Once you've locked some value into the system, if you want to, you can also borrow some tokens and then go off and do kind of something else with them if you want to.
So would those interest rates vary a lot between the two?
Between the two dApps.
So if we just do a comparison to Compound, because we've used that in the past, would there be a big difference in interest rates?
Yeah, I mean there can be. So what happens with dApps that offer the same things is obviously there's a lot of competition between users can go which one should I use. So there's kind of competition for them to offer the best rates, because if you have like a certain amount of value in a certain token, you want to put it in the one that gives you the best return. I mean, very much like a bank account. People are always searching for the best interest rate. So in a sense that the interest rates you can earn shouldn't be too different between them, but they can actually be quite different because the interest rates are basically a function of how much demand there is for a token. So we see here, this is Aave.com, and this is these are all the tokens that you can that Aave supports. So there's a whole bunch of these tokens, and you can see here, as we saw with Compound, there's this in orange is the deposit interest rate. So if you at the moment these change, as you can see in small text here, it shows you what the average has been for the last month. But if you take your tokens and lock them into the system, this is the interest rate you currently get. And then if you borrow, if you want to borrow these tokens, this is the interest rate you pay. Now, one of the kind of differences that Aave does is it offers this variable rate. So this is the kind of for DAI, the stablecoin DAI. At the moment, if you borrowed it, it would be 4.81% that you pay back. But we can see over the last 30 days, the average is actually almost 16%.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
Yeah, but if you want to, you can basically lock your loan into a stable kind of interest rate. So given that the rate could be lower or could be higher, if we were a bit nervous about what was going on, and we just saw it change there, we could basically say, well, 9% seems okay. So we could take our loan out and guarantee it to be 9%. So we wouldn't, we might be paying more because this value might go down, but we might be paying less. Sorry, but we wouldn't be paying any more. So that's kind of just a nice kind of feature that Aave does.
Yeah.
For people who are going to borrow a lot of tokens, which isn't really us. But that's kind of one of the differences. This is just kind of this is the web interface. So let's actually go and enter the dApp. So as ever, this is running, well, not as ever, but this is running on the Ethereum blockchain, and we are interacting with it with our MetaMask wallet.
Yeah.
I mean, most people, I guess, will have had a MetaMask wallet. So we can see here what's going on. So there's actually two versions of Aave now. So this V1 is the old version. So you wouldn't really interact with that unless you had set up something using the old version. So obviously, as we haven't done that, so we're going to use the version 2. We can kind of So these are all the coins, the tokens that are supported. So
you have to click on the version 2, or is it automatically in that one?
I think it's automatically in there. I think actually when you originally launch it, it asks you what you want to do.
Oh, right, I see.
So we see markets. We've got a dashboard here, so obviously we've not done anything yet. and then okay, deposit. So again, the UI with these things is I mean, this is kind of straightforward, but a bit complicated to begin with when you don't really know what all these things are. But you know, basically, as I always think these things are, borrow. You know, you're depositing money, so savings and loans. That's the thing for me. So there is actually a swap option, so you can do. I mean, it's not as fully featured as something like Uniswap, but there are some swap things in there. There's a staking option as well if you've got the Aave. Aave has its own token as well, but we're not really going to go into that level of detail today because this is basically our first video. We'll probably do a few about it. So, so we can see here that because we've now gone into the DApp and we've connected the DApp, the DApp is connected to our wallet, so it can see what's in our wallet. So we haven't got much in our wallet, so you can see. So basically, most of these are showing zeros, but we've got a bit of ETH, and we've got some of these SUSD. So this is a stable coin that is based around the synthetic DApp. It's a stable coin for the synthetic DApp. Not going to go into synthetic at the moment. We'll probably do a video about that at some point. It doesn't really matter. But all you need to know is this is a stable coin. So we've got 50 SUSD tokens, so roughly $50. But what you can see here is this actually at the moment is offering us the best return. So the SUSD token is clearly in demand for people. People want to borrow this because that's why the rate of this is so high, because people really want to borrow this. So that seems a good one for us to deposit. So that's why we're going to deposit that one.
So why we're just looking at a little bit about stable coins then. What's the advantage of that one over, say, one like DAI? I mean, are they not all just stable coins? I don't.
No, you say that. So maybe we should do a video about stable coins. So no. So I mean, in some degree, you're exactly correct. So the point of every stable coin is for the price to be stable. So basically, pretty much all these stable coins are designed to be one of the tokens to be worth $1. So I mean, you can see like all of these have USD in their titles because they're pegged to the dollar. There are obviously other ones that are pegged to the euro or whatever, but the dollar is the main, by far away the main focus for stable coins. But the thing is, they all have a different way of kind of what we call keeping the peg. For things like USDC, every one of these tokens that is created is backed by $1 in a bank account somewhere. So I can't remember how many there are at the moment. I think it's probably about 5, 6, maybe up as many as $10 billion of 10 billion tokens of USDC. But every month they put out an audit, and like an accounting company basically looks at their bank account and goes, this is how much is in their bank account.
Yeah.
And obviously on a blockchain you can see how many tokens there are out there. That's what blockchains do. So you can always see that for every USDC token created, there's a $1 sitting in a bank account somewhere. I don't really know too much about the TUSD, how that's backed, so I won't talk about that one. DAI is a bit different because it is backed by cryptocurrencies. So to create DAI, you need to lock in a cryptocurrency into the Maker, the Maker DAO DeFi DApp. So that's more complicated how that works. But basically, you can prove how much collateral is backing this system.
Yeah.
So the big, I'm not going to go into this detail. Didn't know we can talk about this today. But this is the big one, Tether. So Tether is the biggest stable coin. So there's $25 billion worth of Tether out there.
Yeah.
And Tether supposedly is backed by $1. And then it transpired they weren't necessarily all backed by dollars, and there's various lawsuits going on. So there's lots of confusion and arguments about how exactly USD is pegged.
Yeah.
But it is the biggest stable coin, and at the moment people kind of just seem to believe that it is, because the fact that it isn't is too dreadful for everyone to think. So
just
but anyway,
a little sidetrack.
little sidetrack. The synthetic USD is a bit like DAI is created in the synthetic DApp, and you basically have to lock in. They have a token that you lock in to mint to create this SUSD. The reason it's very popular at the moment is the synthetic DApp is very popular at the moment, and their token is going up a lot in price. But one of the things you need to do if you've locked your tokens into the synthetic DApp is you need to kind of pay back your debt using the SUSD token. So I think lots of people are borrowing this token to unlock the underlying token in synthetic, which is called SNX, because it's going up so much in value, and people probably want to sell it off. So people really want to borrow this to get their other token out of the system, sell it off, and then they'll pay back their loan. So that's probably why it's happening. You can see even over the last month, it's not just today. Over the last month, this has been a 29% interest is pretty good. So let's go through this. Go on, you can do this one. You can run the mouse. Okay, so let's click on that one.
That one.
Yeah. So now we can see. So we can see here it's showing our wallet balance at 50 tokens. Excuse me. And basically the things we have done, and it's just showing us some information. We don't need to really care too much about that. So how much would we like to deposit? So we go down here, and then so let's hit max. Click on the word max. So let's get 50. Okay, so let's continue through that. So it's going to ask us to check that. So the process now is we're going to interact with the Ethereum blockchain. So it's going to ask us to sign things through our MetaMask wallet, and always when we use a new token on a new DApp for the first time, we have to approve. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to have to just approve that the Aave DApp is allowed to effectively interact
with MetaMask.
You can interact with MetaMask and move this specific token.
Yeah, right.
So the gas fees are going to be expensive, but we're not going to. Gas fees are just old now. So let's hit submit. So up comes MetaMask. So we're going to pay $8 just to approve this transaction. So you wouldn't really do this for $50, but just hit confirm. So as ever, we are now in the hands of the Ethereum blockchain. So we're just waiting really for that, or we are waiting exactly for that transaction to be mined into the Ethereum block. That was pretty good. Okay, that was quick. And now we hit submit, and now we're actually going to do the deposit. So it's going to take our 50 USD tokens, and it's going to lock them into the Aave DApp.
Yeah.
So let's hit that. Gas fee will be, so $50 worth of gas fee there almost. I mean, this is a maximum, so it might be a little bit less, but let's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Confirm.
So we're just waiting for that to go through, and at the end of this, this will be hopefully locked in. And then we'll start earning the interest. So again, just to confirm, we're doing this because we're learning about DeFi dApps, and we don't want to risk a lot of money. So we're happy to have these big gas fees, but in general,
no, that's all been approved.
So that's all gone through. Yeah. So now if we now hit dashboard. So now we can see. There we go. So
that's the.
And if you look at the top here, so we can see here, one of the nice things about blockchains, I always think, is they have these very long digits. So we can see here, this is the balance that's gone in, and we can already see that we're earning interest. I mean, right on these very tiny numbers.
Yeah.
so 10,000th or millionths of a dollar, but we can see it's going up.
Yeah.
So it's working.
Now, does this also involve any of the yield farming that we've been talking about in other videos? So you don't only earn interest, but you also earn some rewards from I assume Aave, their own token Aave.
Yeah. Yeah. So there is an Aave token, but they do not have yield farming in the same way that Compound does. So in the Compound DApp, if we'd done this in Compound, we would be earning an interest rate, and the interest rate in this case is we're earning the SUSD.
Yeah.
So we're earning our interest in the token that we locked in. So if we locked in DAI, we'd be earning interest in DAI.
Yeah.
But we would also be on Compound be earning interest in the comp token.
Yeah.
Because that's just an incentivized token that goes to anyone who's using Compound. Aave does have its own token. In many ways, it is kind of similar. It's a governance token, so you can also use it to vote on kind of governance proposals, but it doesn't yield farm in the same way. So the interest that you get is just that. There's no yield farming. It's interesting that I guess if people wanted Aave to yield farm their token, they could create a proposal to say we want you to yield farm it, and if
very democratic.
it's not necessarily. It's not. I mean, something. Yeah. I mean, because you have to. It's not democratic in the sense that it's not one man, one vote. Some people have a lot more voting power because they have a lot more value in the system.
Right.
But this is kind of one of the things with
Oh, look, it's gone up to 51 now.
There we go. So yeah, governance here is. So we can see what's going on here. So you need this Aave token in order to vote on these things. So we don't have any of that. But you can see people are voting, and you can see. So it looks like very few people are voting against these things, but not very many of the token holders are actually voting.
Right.
I'm not going through really any of this stuff. So you can so you in the way you can yield farm in Aave is if you go just to Uniswap and buy this Aave token, then you lock it in. So very much like we just did with that SUSD token.
Yeah.
We lock it in, but we're not locking it in for people to borrow against it. We're actually just what they call staking it. So it's just held within the DApp. And then you can see that currently the staking interest rate is 6.12%. So if we did have any Aave tokens, we could lock them in here, and we could earn interest as well.
Good.
But it's not like yield. It's not. We wouldn't use yield farming as a term for that.
Right.
But there is a sort of yield farming type thing going on here. We can see here that 550 of these Aave tokens are created every day, and then they are basically distributed to the people who have staked their tokens in here. We can see there's almost $1 billion, $919 million worth of these Aave tokens are staked in here. And actually, the reason that they are staking it in here is they have what they're calling a safety module. So this looks like some sort of insurance fund. So if something bad goes wrong with Aave, they've got this money in that's locked into the system that they can use to make things good. You can see here they're saying the maximum slashing. Slashing just means if something bad happens, how much of this money we can take is they can potentially take 30% of your money that you staked. So this is kind of the risk reward thing is you're earning this, but you could actually lose 30% because they could actually take that away from you to pay back if people go wrong. And if you want to read more, you can look at these sort of things. So as I say, this is more complex than Compound. But in some ways, the basic functionality of it is broadly the same.
Yeah, good. A few sidetracks there. But,
Yeah.
Thank you for listening or watching. Sorry, I'm watching this video. If you got any questions or just want to leave a comment, then please feel free to do so. And also check out the other videos. And thank you very much. See you soon.